real estate team. And I am super excited because I have Alexis with me from Pacesetter, and we're going to be talking about new homes. So Alexis, why don't we first start with you telling me a little bit about your background in new home sales?
Sure. Yeah. Thanks so much, Elise, and thanks for inviting me in here. So I'm originally from Camrose, and so a little bit of a smaller town than Edmonton, and then moved over to university here in Edmonton. Have a couple degrees in drama, so mostly improv, and then straight after university went to be a teacher actually for 6 years until I realized it just wasn't for me. And had some friends who were in the industry. I thought it was fascinating and decided, hey, I wanna give this a go. So jumped in with 2 feet and decided to plunge in. Haven't looked back. And so been with a few different builders now, and currently I am with Pacesetter, and going into my 10th year.
So what people may not know about Alexis is with that drama background, she's been doing a lot of really creative things with film right now. So I'll probably post one of those later after this show so everyone can see how much fun she's been having in her gorgeous show homes, showcasing them and everything else. So obviously your background of that, and I've been really blessed because I've actually been able to work with Alexis personally on a couple deals, and so got to see her in action and seen what an awesome rep she has been in terms of helping me and my clients find stuff. But I'm not as familiar with Pacesetter because when we've been working together, it's been with other builders and everything else. So maybe tell me a little bit about Pacesetter, what makes them different, why you decided to join the company, and what we should be looking for Pacesetter in 2020.
Awesome. Pacesetter, very, very unique company. They are the largest volume builder in the city of Edmonton and highest production builder as well. So they're able to achieve a higher scale that a lot of the other builders aren't able to. So everything from townhomes all the way up to $1 million homes that we have in the city here. So various price tags, and we have everything from townhomes, green homes, front attached. We even have a brand new rear attached product that I just launched
that's interesting.
Year. So it's really, really cool. If you have a chance, check it out. Aspen and Purcell model. Pacesetter, what really attracted to me to them is that they are under Qualico. Now, Qualico is Western Canada's largest land developer. So I found that to be quite enticing to know just the sheer amount of land that Pacesetter would have. And so I thought I would take a peek at their products and went into the show homes. I was pleasantly surprised with every single show home that I went into. I feel like they're cut above the rest. That's now, and they're just fantastic to work with as well from a cultural standpoint.
Perfect. So when you say largest volume, do you mean that they just have the biggest opportunity for inventory available for buyers, basically? Would that what you mean by that?
That and sales. So per year, for Pacesetter, they do sell the most.
Okay, well, that's good to know. So I'm like, I don't know what that means. I bet you if I don't understand it, other people don't understand what.
No, great question. Great question.
And obviously, because Pacesetter is such a large volume and does so many different types of products and everything else, I'm sure they offer options across Edmonton and area. Is there any preferred or specific favorite neighborhoods that you'd kind of like to highlight to me right now?
Well, we are in, I believe, 40 communities in and around Edmonton. So
nice.
That's quite a substantial amount. It really depends on the clients that you're working with. But some top communities that I would like to do shout outs to, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely.
Would be over in Keswick Landing. I did help launch that area. And I really do like the Southwest personally. Windermere area is where it's at. They have a lot going on in that area as well. Future rec center that's going to be there, which is the largest rec center the city of Edmonton has.
Oh, nice. Once we can actually get out of our houses and actually work out together.
I know, right? That would be awesome. I can't wait for it. Yeah, it's going to be amazing.
I genuinely miss Alexis, seeing her in person. So this is the closest I've gone to her in a while. So it's nice that we can at least say face to face. So yay, we can work out at Keswick. So go ahead. Sorry.
There, and then we can go shopping over in DeRoche. Yeah. So that's another area. Actually, I just did a clip I had posted today on the show homes that are for sale out in DeRoche. They have the most phenomenal pond feature with like these fountains behind it. So it's just beautiful.
Nice.
With a lot of amenities going on in there too. So a lot of shopping, the superstores by there, schools going in.
Right.
Just a lot of things that I think families really like.
Yeah, and I know you live in the Southwest too, so it's obviously a place that you've personally chosen to live and invest in yourself, right?
Exactly. Yeah, I really dig the Southwest. However, we do have some just beautiful, really, really high quality communities all over the city too. So Rosenthal,
which is a great neighborhood too. I love Rosenthal personally. I think it's a fantastic West Edmonton.
Totally. You drive out there and there's lots of walking trails and of course the fountains. Kind of a fan.
Yeah. They have a pretty decent play park. I personally can attest to that. So.
Yeah, the splash park for the kids.
Yeah. Perfect. So yeah, basically what you're telling me is if we wanted to work with Pacesetter and work with you, we pretty much have a choice across so many different neighborhoods. So it really just comes down to where do the people really want to live? And chances are, if it's in your community, we're going to find you.
Exactly. Yeah.
The answer.
Yeah.
Perfect.
One of the really good things about Pacesetter is that you can work with me. That was also a huge attraction for me to help service my realtor networks as well as my personal clients, because I am able to go into any one of the communities that Pacesetter is in, and I have access to anything that you would need to know. So everything from plot plans to architecturals to if there's an HOA. Yeah, there's a plethora of information and it's all at my fingertips. So it makes it super exciting for me to help service any of my clients.
And I know that's like personally a frustration for me in real estate because, you know, I actually really enjoy the hunt of helping people buy brand new homes. It's kind of one of those interesting things that people don't always realize that realtors do. And so I know one of my favorite things is being able to get inventory and information about specific builders and everything that they're offering within a specific community. And it's quite frustrating when I have to go to say one builder and I have to call 10 reps to get the information I'm looking for, when I would really just like to have that one or two great connections that I can get all the information I need for my clients. So the fact that you can be more mobile, I feel is not only an asset to the clients, but it's also an asset to the agents that are working with you and the clients on behalf of them. And that kind of leads us back to an interesting thing here is I don't think people realize that when they're buying new, they can actually also have a realtor help them in the process of buying new. And there is an advantage to having a realtor work alongside them in that process. So I know Pacesetter does actively work with realtors. So maybe tell me a little bit about how that works and why, in your opinion, it's a benefit. And I'll probably jump in and throw my 2 cents in a few times.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, Elise. Yeah, so Pacesetter is and always has been realtor friendly. So we do offer, full commission to our realtors. And basically, if you come in with a realtor, it really does help build the rapport for the clients. Realtors know which, builders would be a better fit for their clients as well, because they are more well adversed with the whole buying process, especially when it comes to new, right? Another thing also is that because you do have the rapport, realtors have the rapport already built, built with their client. It's great because they're able to look at it from a resale perspective. So you guys can be the eyes and the ears on the operation, so to speak, and a nice sellable opportunity for you in the future as well. Lot selection. So I'm going to jump a little bit into the different styles of homes.
Well, before you jump into that, I'll point out a couple other points that I think are really important for people to understand is I find that when people are looking at brand new, I want to stress one thing is if you do want an agent, it's really important to interview your agents ahead of time because you do want to go with your agent to the show homes. Obviously with COVID, it's a little bit different how that practice is happening, and we can touch on that. But the point is, you still need to work with an agent first and foremost if you want that relationship, because sometimes that relationship can't pass on to the show home if you visit it ahead of time without us being there, or at least us reaching out to the reps before you arrive.
Exactly.
Right.
And that's also another really good reason is if you do have someone that you work with personally with the builder, develop that trust relationship with that particular sales rep. At least that way you can quickly do a shout out. Something that I do for any clients walking through the door at all, any customers coming through the door, are you working with a realtor right now?
And I wish everyone would do that, but we know that's not always the case. So
really simple yet highly effective.
Just ask a question. Isn't that the simplest thing? Well, and even with you being more mobile, I mean, it's really important, because then if my clients reach out to me first, I can actually reach out to you direct, and we can arrange everything that they can look in all the communities they want, rather than having to go show home to show home to show home without that concierge service. So they're getting a little bit more value in terms of that, which I think is really important. I'll add a couple other points there too in terms of realtors, and let's talk about styles a little bit more. But I think the other thing is upgrades. Different builders offer different levels of upgrades. And so oftentimes us as agents, I'm your encyclopedia to remember all these little details. So that when you're comparing the pros and cons of each one, I can highlight those benefits or features in each one and talk about resale in terms of that. And the other thing I wanted to point out, and I think people forget this and they think, oh, well, the realtor is going to get paid commission. If I don't go with them, I could get a better price. Usually these commissions are paid out of your marketing packages. So they're going to be paid out regardless of what that price of that home is. At least that's my assumption of it.
Yeah, absolutely. If a client comes in, they have a realtor, the last thing that we ever want to do is to slow down that buying process, right? So
yeah.
So it's really important that that is communicated effectively, to the client, and that we work together as a team, that we collaborate as a team for the benefit of the client overall. So the more communication that the realtor has with the sales rep, the better, the more effective, of a process it's going to be for the client as well. We need to work together, and essentially, it's all about the client. Right.
It 100% is. And I think when we've been able to work together, we've both been able to be on the ball to make sure everything's getting done the right way. And so it just allows the client to breathe and not have to worry about all the stresses, right? Between you and I, we're taking care of everything for them, and we're just touching point with them on the things that they absolutely have to worry about, not all the BS in the middle in terms of the chaos.
Well, and another thing, Elise, I think you are on another level too. You are completely on the ball. Speaking of on the ball, every single step of the process, you were effectively communicating with me, with the client. You had lists, you were sending out emails, you were following up with everything, which is amazing. And it's very rare that I do see that level of service that you
I appreciate that. I'm a little neurotic. People probably think I'm a little nuts, but at the end of the day, it's important, right? I prefer open communication and fast communication, because at the end of the day, I want the reps to love me at the end, and I want my clients to be happy at the end with the service that we provide too, right? Because it's a win-win for everybody.
Exactly. There's nothing that's missing, outstanding. The client's still taken care of.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the important thing. So like I said, we've been blessed to have some opportunities to do that, and I've been really lucky. But let's jump back to the show homes, not about why hire a lease here. This was just important to know that agents can work for new homes. And I think it's really important to, again, do that interview first with the agents to make sure, do you want that double experience is the question. But let's talk about homes. And it's I get so confused. When I first started looking at new homes and navigating the waters of education myself, there's so many different phraseologies and things like that. There's quick possession and to build, and I don't know, there's just so much. Tell me a little bit more.
Sure. I'll try to keep it as simple as possible, because I know that it can be quite overwhelming, like you said, and especially to the average person. I eat, breathe, talk, live new homes, so I know it all. But but someone who's just learning about it, or wanting to maybe consider building new or purchasing a new home, just to keep it as simple as possible, there are pre-sales. So what that is you find the lot, you find the model, you put the model on the lot. pre-sale.
Right.
Okay.
So kind of everything's done for you in that sense. Like the model is already done. You're not really overthinking it. It's just, here's your lot, here's the layout.
Yeah, and there can be variances in between. So one thing that people really love about Pacesetter, and myself included, is the fact that we're able to basically, and I don't want to say the word customize, but
you can modify.
Yeah, but we're almost there, like to being pretty much a custom home, where we can take one of the plans that Pacesetter has and change pretty much anything except for anything that's a load-bearing wall or stairs. So,
right.
So clients can really really create their dream home, and because we're also a production high volume builder, we do get an amazing value and cost affiliated with that as well.
Which is awesome.
So when we pass that on to the client, so as opposed to having the custom home building price tag, we have the volume price tag and able to offer outstanding personalizations to the home. So a lot of my clients absolutely love that. And because we are in, almost 40 communities, chances are there's going to be a lot that we're going to be able to find. Then there's also pooled lots too. So if Pacesetter doesn't own the lot, then we can always purchase it.
Right, because there's some that are still open for people to potentially access.
Exactly. So I have been doing quite a few custom homes lately, custom walkouts in various parts of the city and surrounding communities. So if anybody is interested at all for doing more of a custom style home, we're able to achieve that. Then there's going to be spec homes. So spec homes are homes that are under construction already. They can be anywhere from still in the office, drafting it up, to a home that is sitting ready.
Like walk-in ready. You can just go in and take a look.
Walk-in turnkey ready for you to move into. So depending on the stage of construction, it's a good thing that if a client wants to make some modifications, depending on where it's at in construction, more than likely we're able to achieve that as well. So if a client is really wanting to completely, take apart and they want to build their dream home and they want to take the time to do that, then a pre-sale, and pick the lot, everything from scratch, because this is their 10-year game plan. Then, pre-sale is probably
where they want to go.
The direction. Yeah. Spec home, it's great because let's say you're thinking about making a move and maybe you have a 4 to 5 month window. It's good because you can get a home that's still under construction. And then what we can do is, still have them maybe choose their own colors at that time. So if the home is at just starting framing or foundation, depending on where it's at in construction, we'll be able to make some modifications for them. So it's nice because they still get to personalize it, but they don't have to wait as long as it would be for a pre-sale, but still get what they want.
And I think it's important that people know this is, when you think of a spec home, the reality is a lot of the stuff is already gone for city approval. So you can't be making any major changes because of that fact.
Yeah. If it has to do with the footprint and the foundation is already done.
It's already been approved. It can't change.
Yeah, exactly. Something of that nature. But for personalizations in the home, if somebody really wants a particular color palette,
tiles, paint.
Yeah, those sorts of items, then it's great. Even if they did want to, add certain features into the home, they could still do that as well, depending on where it's at in construction, of course. And then another thing is that a lot of people don't know, but we have show homes and they'd be able to.
They go for sale sometimes.
Exactly. And because we are in so many communities, we have so many different show homes that are available. So some of the show homes that I have listed on my Facebook and on my Instagram, those are for sale right now. They're turnkey ready. It's great because you'd be able to purchase the home, and let's say you have your bags and you just want to move in. You don't want to have to worry about the mess and having to, move everything, all your furniture. It's more of an actual turnkey property where you can move in and no one's ever lived in it before either.
Well, and the nice thing about the show homes is they often have those extras, right? Like people talk about those extras that you start adding up, tick, 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 as you start pricing out your spec home or your pre-sale home. And so sometimes those show homes give you even added value for the fact that you're getting a little bit more artistic styling. You also have interior designers that often go in. So, those really cool wallpapers or just those extra room enhancements just to make the show home even more beautiful. You're kind of walking in and getting that right away.
Yeah, 100%. A lot of the extras that they'd be putting into the homes are the upgraded features that I would say the average person doesn't necessarily get, most likely because of the cost affiliated with it. So you're going to
It's a
be
nice to have. Often.
Amazing. Yeah, hands down.
Perfect. And so is there ever a case like in Pacesetter? So basically you guys just often have an inventory of show homes that are for sale. Is there ever a time that someone would buy a show home and leave it for you guys to use as a show home and eventually get ownership rights to it?
Yeah, so we want to work with the client, which best serves them. Basically just communicate with me and it's also up to me to ask the right questions for the client to ensure that that we're working together as a team collaboratively, which would be the best for the client. So if they did need it a little bit later, let's work together, let's structure that so it works best for the client.
Yes, if you see that perfect show home that you fell in love with online, just give me and Alexis a call and we'll walk you through how to purchase it one way or another, right?
Exactly.
And that kind of goes into this whole theme about it's really going to come down to your time frame as to what's going to be right for you, right? So depending on your duration of time as to when you want to get into your property is going to determine whether you're wanting a spec home, a pre-sale, or even looking at a show home. And sorry, that's my kids screaming. We'll just let them calm down for a second. But maybe let's talk about timeframes. Like, how fast could I move into a spec home versus a pre-sale versus a show home? What kind of time frame, or even slightly more custom? What would I be looking at?
Yeah, that's a great question. So it kind of depends, obviously, what style of home that you're wanting to get into. So if you are looking more at a pre-sale option because you want that lot and you want that model and you know what you want, right? And you want to make it happen. So on a pre-sale, we would be looking more along the lines of build time.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear you. I think it cut out there. Can you repeat that, Alexis?
Yeah, so we would be looking more at around that 8 to 10 month build time to from when you're signing the papers up until when you're moving into the home. Obviously, that can vary depending on the level of customization, but we do keep you updated or keep the clients updated every step of the way. So every single one of the milestones, they're more than aware. But it is good. Like if you wanted to give yourself kind of a time estimate, that's what you would be looking at. Now, if you are going for a spec home, which is under construction, it really depends on where it's at in construction.
That's what I was going to say. I'm like, some are ready to move in and some are just like barely have the foundation started.
Exactly. Something really unique that Pacesetter offers is our homes that are under construction and they're held at a certain point of construction that the client, so we have quite a few homes.
Cool.
Yeah. And so the clients can go in and then what we do is set an appointment for them to go to the design queue, which is an amazing one-stop shop for the clients to go and choose all of their colors. You get to work with a personal designer one-on-one to help achieve the look and feel that you're going for. And that is about, I want to say 3 months, 2 to 3 till when they'll be able to move in from when they first, sign the papers.
To get there. Well, and I think that's really important for people to realize because we often get calls that someone wants brand new and they're like, but I need to move in 30 days. And so that all of a sudden limits us. We're like, basically like, okay, we need a spec home that's like 99% there. And the problem is you're very limited in terms of even going to the design center because those homes, everything's already kind of been picked out and ordered and supplied often. And so I think you should start, like if you are thinking new is what you want, don't be afraid to start imagining what that new is going to look like well ahead of time so that you can start researching and knowing is a pre-sale right or is a spec home right and knowing that you have that time run that you can do that. Now, talking about pre-sale homes, like I know, how does that work for mortgages? You have a pre-approved rate and it's not going to be ready for 12 months. Are you able to speak on that?
Yeah, absolutely. So Pacesetter also does have the ability to do either a draw or a completion mortgage
Okay.
for the pre-sales. Now, typically a lot of the clients right now, I see that they're leaning more towards a draw mortgage. And so what is that? Basically, when
Yeah.
you start, yeah, I know a lot of people don't
I
know.
kind of know, but I'll let you explain it just so we have it correct. I know what it is.
Yeah, so let's say we start, we're deciding to do a pre-sale, even if it's a home that has just started construction, but we know that there's still going to be another half a year down the trail
Mhm.
until the home is completed. They'll still have the ability to opt for a draw mortgage or a completion. So
Mhm.
what that means is after you sign all the papers and X number of months after we remove conditions, the mortgage is going to start to get funded in segments and portions.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be the full amount that, you're starting your mortgage payments right, on the 3-month mark after signing, but your home is still not ready
Right.
for another 8 months or 6 months rather. But what you do have is a portion of that, which will be starting, the mortgage, and Pacesetter actually will pick up the interest payments, which
Oh,
is
awesome.
most of it.
That's
So
huge. That's huge,
yeah,
right?
it's great because the client would be able to get to take advantage of,
Starting to pay down their mortgage.
yeah. And then also the rates, if there's some good rates at the time, get something locked in. So if
You're
anything,
not losing out on that value, right?
exactly.
Okay.
So, but then if they decide, oh, I'd rather do a completion, we can still do that. And so on day of possession is when the mortgage would get funded. Now, keep in mind, if it is a pre-sale, depending on who you go with for your finances, and that would be a separate topic to discuss. Just make sure that you would be able to get a longer rate hold, or that you
Yeah.
would have that locked in
Yeah,
for.
you just have to be prepared that your pre-approved rate may not be the exact rate you get when you move into the home, but between Pacesetter, me, and the mortgage broker, we could work with you guys to come up with the best plan for whether you do a draw or the other one in terms of ensuring that you're protected in what you're paying would be
Exactly.
our goal. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of options there, but I think people don't always realize that. So it's really good to know. Obviously there's a huge, well, let's talk a little bit about this. I mean, when people also buy new, oftentimes like some homes get landscaped, some don't. There's different landscaping deposits that often have to get paid, and that's something that people don't realize is an added cost that they have to plan ahead. I mean, it's minor; it's usually about $1,000, but still $1,000 you need to come up with, right? So tell
Yeah.
me a little bit about landscaping and pace setters if they have set policies on landscaping.
Yeah, so the landscaping, yeah, so depending on which home that you are getting. So some of our homes do come with landscaping. Some of them come with front landscaping. Some of them come with front and rear landscaping. So it is important to communicate that with me, and then I would be able to let you know if that is something that the client does need to prepare for or not. You can
Perfect.
also get landscaping included in the home if you wanted. If that was something important, let's say your clients have, a need that they really want to have the landscaping done. They
They
don't
just
want
don't
to
want to think about it. Yeah.
exactly. So we can always have that as a value added, personally for the client, and work that in as well. Now, as it pertains to landscaping deposits, I would offer that most builders out there are, going with a landscaping deposit. It's held in trust. They receive it back as soon as the landscaping is completed. There is an email, what they send, say, hey, landscaping is done. We drive by, have a look, and then they get it back. So
Yeah, it's just basically a way to ensure that people will finish their landscaping within a range of time, and it's just better for the whole neighborhood to
exactly.
have the landscaping done, right? You don't want someone not doing their landscaping for 10 years, right? So it's kind of that goal of getting people in the door and wanting to get their landscaping. And
Mhm.
even landscaping also, there's sometimes a rule of thumb of how many shrubberies are needed or how many trees are needed. So that's really important to be aware of when you're signing that contract as well.
Yeah, and that is something that I do go through with my clients is the landscaping, not just that, but also the architecture. So depending on what kind of a home style that we're getting, once again, I'm working with my pre-sale clients. That is something that I do like to go through somewhat in detail so that they understand the different elevation styles that they could be choosing for their home. And then those who have more quicker possessions or homes that maybe they haven't done that section, then I do go through different architectural, such as the landscaping, what they need to be putting in. Now, a lot of the communities, they're the same, but then there are some
They
which
vary.
exactly different requirements. But I do go through that with my clients, and everything from fencing to, like you said, shrubbery, trees. Some even say a particular kind of tree. So
I know, that's what I'm saying.
yeah.
You gotta plan for all these things, the cost of associated with this, right? And how to do it.
Yeah, you don't want to start going and putting something up and then realize that your beautiful crabapple tree, doesn't qualify.
No-go. Yeah, it's a no-go. Now, keep in mind, like, just because they say you have to put one tree in your backyard, it doesn't mean that you can't put more and you can't create more privacy. They're just putting the minimum standards of what they expect you to complete. In terms of that, right? And then same with like fences, there might be set colors, and that kind of goes into this phrase of architectural controls for a neighborhood. And sometimes people think, oh, I want to paint my door red or pink or whatever color they want, and I mean, you can't quite do that right away because there is certain controls in the neighborhood. So maybe talk a little bit about how you guys go through those pieces of the puzzle when buying.
Yeah, so each community is going to have their
different.
Yeah, is going to have their different set of architectural requirements and controls. So it is important that if you are working with someone who's going to be well adversed within the different communities, and that is something that I have at my fingertips. Pacesetter has done a phenomenal job of posting those all in our system. So if I have a client come to me and they say, "Oh, I'm looking anywhere from Leduc over to Trumpeter,"
Yeah.
so it's great that I can work with the client. They can be right in front of me. Okay, different types of elevation styles you can choose from, this architectural requirements, but I will have everything essentially at my fingertips for that.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, and there's going to be like some communities are going to have stricter rules around that than others, and just being in the industry now for going into my 10th year, I've gotten to know all of the communities over the years and what's allowable, what's not allowable. But we do also have the full architecturals at our fingertips as well.
Well, and I think that's also something important for people to recognize is sometimes you're going to find that perfect spec home and it's going to have very specific exterior colors. And so not only are you having to make a decision on the inside of the home, but you may not have control over the outside of the home. And that's just what it is, right? So, again, it comes back to that balance of the more customized you want it, the longer you should plan ahead. And the less customized you want it, the faster you can get a home and move in faster. So it's just knowing that when you walk in, you might get that yellow door and that's just what it is. And so hopefully you like the yellow door.
Yeah, and I mean, some styles, like for those, usually they're a little bit more lenient on that, but there is something about repetition. So going into a community, standard, like a rule of thumb, this isn't going to be for all communities, but let's say you're on this home, 2 lots on this side, 2 lots on the other side, and 1 directly across. You can't have the same
color. Yeah. I find most neighborhoods are pretty lenient. I found Summerside, for example, to be very strict on their rules, but I guess it just depends on the neighborhood. They're going to have different styling to match the tone and the feel that they want to achieve in the neighborhood. And that's where these are going to be either a little bit more lenient or less lenient, depending on the neighborhood you choose.
Exactly. And that's going to be controlled by the architectural agent as well. So they're essentially the ones that are going to say yay or nay to when we do the application. And I mean, as long as we stick to the rules, and that also goes within, like I said, teaming up with some rules, these rules that go with each one of the communities too.
So this is a big topic oftentimes is the extras, people walk into the show home and they fall in love with this beautiful, spectacular home. And then they sit down and they start adding up what they want. And next thing you know, their package, goes up 50 or 60K because they're wanting all of these different things in terms of it. How does it work with Pacesetter in terms of lighting packages or different flooring options and things like that? Maybe just give me a little bit about Pacesetter in particular?
Sure. So we do have different sets of specifications that go along with each home style that we have. So as it pertains to the majority of Pacesetter's homes, we have a certain level of specifications. So, I mean, without going into great detail,
Of course.
it's going to be, like the quartz countertops throughout the whole house, vinyl plank flooring on the main,
Carpet.
yeah, tile upstairs. So if it is something that the clients are more privy towards, or that they have a wish list perhaps already started, and it kind of ties into what you were saying before, Elise, is in that it's really crucial and essential for clients to really get a good vision of what they want in their home. Because that way they're able to communicate that to you and to me, for me to be able to give them a realistic number as to what they're looking for. Now, a lot of, I'd say 90% of my clients are just totally happy with what we have as
the basic package or whatever.
Yeah,
which is quite nice.
It's actually a really high level. I would say I've worked with other builders, and what they call basic package for Pacesetter is still quite substantial.
Well, and one thing I'm so impressed with just new homes in general, and I'm sure you've seen this over the years too, is just what is considered basic nowadays. Like, I mean, I remember when quartz was not basic, and now that's becoming more the norm, right? Or, under, taller cabinets, or, just like these little extras, you're starting to see the basics packages really step up and offer a lot more to the average consumer, because the average consumer is expecting those things in the basic package nowadays.
Remember the carpet and lino days?
Oh, yeah. Well, some builders are still doing that.
Carpet, lino, laminate countertops, like that was the norm. And it was like, oh, you want to get an upgraded quartz? Well, now it's included,
Exactly. Or the stainless steel appliances. Like, I mean, that's more of a norm now, right? In terms of, so just remembering that, and also just deciding where are you going to pick your battles. Like, and that's where I can come in as an advisor too, is like those lists of all those extras. I can really talk about it from a resale value. Like, okay, like if you're going to invest in this now. Other things like lighting, yes, it makes a world of a difference, and I'm all for gorgeous lighting, but sometimes it might be something you might want to do yourself over time and really make it your own statement versus just upgrading for the sake of upgrading, right?
Exactly. And then there's like trends versus fads, which I think, you would need to speak to as well. There are items now which are trending, and then there are also fads which are going to come and they're going to go. Right?
Exactly. So really the cool part is if you do go with Pacesetter and you work with me, you actually get mine and Alexis's opinion, which I think you would really appreciate in terms of that sense. And going back to the design center, I mean, the really awesome part about a lot of these companies now, and especially Pacesetter, is they actually have a center where you can go look at all the tiles and the carpets and the paints, and really figure out what speaks to you in terms of your personality and making it your own. And that's something important to know too. And Alexis mentioned this, is it's not normal for agents or even the reps of Pacesetter to always go to those design centers, but her and I care so much about the customers that is something that we will genuinely love to do for you, is to be in that space and be there as another advisor, giving you that extra opinion to make sure that you're really going to love your home once it's done.
Yeah, definitely. I've been offering to my clients now since joining Pacesetter. So every Thursday, when they do have the open house. So on Thursday nights, usually right now, for a little while.
It's a little different.
It's a little different, yeah. But typically Thursday nights from 5:30 till 8 p.m., the design center is open, and I really like to take the time and go there with my clients. So it gives them peace of mind, some direction, and a certain level of service that I think that they really, really appreciate. Because sometimes you go in, almost like when you go into a show home, and if you don't have anybody to really help guide you,
it's overwhelming.
Right?
Well, and I just keep picturing, like, I mean, the thing that people don't realize is there literally is different shades of white. And so it might look good.
There's more shades of white than I ever imagined.
And I don't know, like, I don't know about your background, but my background is I actually did art and design in university. So I've done painting classes. And so I can tell the hues of color from terrible drawings of having to draw myself to know what colors are in paint. And that is like a skill set to know, because trust me, like that yellow tone is going to show up so apparent in that flooring selection, right? And even though the design team is amazing, again, it's just having that extra viewpoint or that extra feedback. And this is at no cost to you. This is all part of the package in terms of service. And I think that's what people have to realize, is that we're there for them and to really support them in getting to the right journey and the right home as much as we can. Another huge thing that's different in new home builds versus resale is resale. We're always touting the fact that you need to get a home inspection and different things like that. Now, I know there's mixed views of that and different, again, my baby's crying. Sorry, guys, I have 2 kids under 4, but I know different people have different views about home inspections and what are allowed. What is Pacesetter's view on that? And maybe walk us through the process of once you've signed the paperwork and the home is getting to completion, what stages will they go through before they get the keys to the home?
Yeah, for sure. That is a very very interesting topic, because I have, like with yourself, I have heard, a lot of
I'm torn.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. And what it comes down to is really the client's,
Peace of
personal
mind.
Exactly. If they choose to have one, they can.
Okay.
We're not going to be saying no, don't get one at all. I'm also not encouraging it, but at the same time, if they feel like they want to have peace of mind and getting that home inspection, get it. Why not?
I mean, at the end of the day, Pacesetter is a great builder. They've been around for a long time. That really, the home inspector, the goal is hopefully not to find anything or very minor things.
Exactly. So that's why I say if they want to have a home inspection, by all means, but it's not necessary. So when you do look at a new build, and particularly with Pacesetter, going strong for 70 years now, and
Wow.
strong reputation within the industry, and we need to uphold that as well. So we have higher than average building code standards to build the home itself. And
Perfect.
before, or the days leading up to possession, we do offer a walkthrough. So you get to walk through the home and learn a little bit about it. So go into the mechanical room and learn how to, operate everything, how to change everything from your furnace filter to the HRV. And also it gives you the opportunity to be able to look at the home, see if there's anything that you would like for them to fix up. It could be scratches in the wall. And it does give them the opportunity the 1 week before possession to get that all fixed up. Now, into the first...
Before you go into that, I was going to say something to note when you walk in is don't be surprised if you see green tape, painter's tape. I think people don't realize. You will see painter's tape. It's a good thing.
Yes, exactly.
Which is what people don't realize. But the painter's tape is to signal that Pacesetter's on the ball and they've realized that there's maybe a mark there or something that they have to fix. And so that means that their guys are planning to fix whatever is behind that painter's tape. So that's something to note. And oftentimes the fun part, they'll give you a roll of tape as well. And you'll get the fun of noticing if there is, say, a scratch of paint, or like maybe a door is a little crooked, or any minor thing that you notice. I mean, within range, right? Like you're not looking at the paint like with a magnifying glass, but I mean, you can step back in the room and look if there's a noticeable hairline or something really bothering you. You can put that little tape there to indicate that it needs to be resolved, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And that really gives them
kind of fun.
You're like, this is a good thing.
It is a good thing. And I actually enjoy it. I will help you tape the walls.
It's all these little things that I kind of, I don't want to say take for granted, but I don't notice anymore. But coming from your perspective, I can really appreciate it.
And that's where you also appreciate my neurotic attitude, because I guarantee you I'll catch those things.
Well, that's great. Come on all the walkthroughs then.
I don't know if I'd be paid
enough. But yeah, just kind of going into the warranty, I'm going to speak to that a little bit if I may.
Yes, please. Yeah, absolutely.
So the Alberta New Home Warranty offers a 10-year warranty program. And so how is that broken up? It's going to be 1, 2, 5, and 10 years. Just to kind of break that up a little bit, the first year is basically on anything that was installed improperly or anything breaks in the home. You have kind of a 1-year freebie, let's say, right? 2 years.
This does not give you permission to drag your boxes on that floor, just so you know.
That's what I'm going to say. Yeah. So it's not anything that, let's say, moving in and out of the house, or anything that the client or the homeowner at that point has has done with the home, but it's something that was maybe installed improperly or anything labor related, anything breaks, but no.
Exactly.
And then 2 years is going to be on distribution systems. So that's heating, electrical, and plumbing. The way that I think about it is anything going to and from the house. That's 2 years. 5 years is going to be on the building envelope itself. So that's on the windows, the walls, exterior walls, and the roof. Everything surrounding
Just
the
basically
home.
making sure no water's penetrating in anywhere that would be bad.
Yeah, so that's 5. And then 10 years is going to be on the structure itself. So if the home was structurally unsound, then that's for the 10-year.
Okay. Yeah. Which, I mean, we certainly hope that that's not the case. And I think, again, going back to Pacesetter's history, they wouldn't be in this business for 70 years if they were having to lean on these warranties to that level, right?
Yeah, exactly. But if security, at least, for the client. So once they move into the home, they have peace of mind, they feel secure, they have someone to reach out to have any of their concerns, if there are any, to be responded to in a timely fashion. And they also have a really awesome online portal that they can access for all of their documents and supporting documents pertaining to the sale of the house and the house itself. So any documents, and then also everything down to the paint color. It'll tell you on this online portal, warranty information, just a plethora of information that's at their fingertips.
Well, and I think that's important to note too, is like, don't wait. Like if you notice, like say a door has settled a little bit and it's not closing properly or certain things like that. I mean, it's really important to communicate with the builders right away of issues so that they can modify it as fast as we can, right? So, don't wait till after that year. Like you have to be letting them know about things as they come up so that you can get them fixed right away.
Yeah, and we also do offer a 1-year follow-up appointment. So even if something has gone on, I do say just take a photo, make a note of it, and then that way at your 1-year follow-up appointment, you would be able to get those all right then and there.
Exactly. We have about 10 minutes left, but maybe tell me a little bit about what's happening with the whole COVID situation. What's a little bit different for us, like even as agents, to kind of approach you to get into homes and for us to help our clients get into homes. What is the process now? What should we be paying attention to and being sure we're following?
Great question. And, things have all changed for all of us, right?
Yeah. I'm sporting cool masks now. That is my new fashion statement.
Yeah, I know. We should have actually done a segment with having the masks on us. But yeah, so.
And we got the mother-in-law calling.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're good. We're good. I turned it off.
Okay. So for building the home itself, there have been a lot of changes that Qualico as a whole has within their construction process. So the biggest thing I think is going to be having trade.
Sorry, Alexis, we just lost you there. What were you saying?
Oh, I just said limiting it to one trade at a time. So before pre-COVID, we'll say, we have multiple trades in at a time. We can have someone doing the tile at the same time, doing like flooring on the
right.
2, sometimes 3 trades at the same time. Right now, they are revising the schedules, so it's going to be a lot quicker. And God bless the site soups. We have amazing site soups over at Pacesetter, but they've been working very, very diligently to keep on top of all quality control in place and timing out the trade so that this trade in is in here at this time, and the next
right.
It's all safe and the home is all well kept.
Are you guys finding a slight slowdown because you're having to do that? So maybe it's bumped a little bit of the time frames a bit.
There might be. I don't want to say no, but I don't want to say yes. I haven't experienced it as of yet. But it's not to say that they won't, because we are the highest volume builder. We do have access to trades at our fingertips. We have all the best trades in town, and they are willing to go that extra mile to essentially make Qualico and Pacesetter happy.
To get it done
Yeah.
as well and as quickly as possible in the right way.
Well, we're all working together, like everybody's all of us, we're all in this together. So I think because we're all so cognizant of that, and we're all going through the same thing together, that we're really trying our best right now to help service our clients more than ever. So really going an extra mile, whether it's to do with the trades, whether it's to do with the construction staff that we have, even our management right now, we're all working together cohesively as a team. When really it comes down to the client, once again, I can't speak to that enough, but we really want for the client to have the best experience. And because we are a builder that has been around for years, not going anywhere, we have a strong reputation, and we will continue to build homes in the Edmonton and area as well. So we want to make sure there's no corners that have been cut within the build process, and that we do adhere to all COVID-related quality control checks as well. If a client decides that they, would like to go and have a view either of their home that they've already purchased, or let's say that you have a client that you bring to me, and I want to ensure to you and your client and to my existing clients that they're going to be going into a COVID-19 free home. So no COVID in the home. All of the necessary actions that the construction staff has taken, and there is a long list.
I bet there is.
I'm not going to go into detail on all of these, but I can assure you that taking all necessary precautions. Additional steps that I personally take. We're going to need to make sure that I have signed off on everybody going through, but additional things is I do have complimentary masks and sanitizer as well. So, and gloves that I bring as well. So if your clients want that to show up early, and I sanitize, doorknobs, lights. I practice social distancing measures as well with all of the clients. And also more recently, just to kind of tie it into one last item that I would like to talk about, is that we have recently, I want to that way, where I do have to help you and your clients, or anyone listening who is thinking about purchasing a new home, side right now.
Sorry, Alexis, you just cut out again. What was that?
I am able to help service your clients with any Qualico affiliated company. So that would be
perfect.
That would be Sterling. That would be Street Side as well.
Oh, awesome. Good to know. Yeah, that's awesome to know.
The majority of the homes in the city here. So chances are we're going to be able to help service you. And I would, be able to just communicate the homes that we have available. All practice the same standard. So just tying it back to what we're doing as precautionary measures. It's all under Qualico. So
perfect.
All I listed what we're doing as preventative measures is what they're doing for Street Side, Sterling, and then also Pacesetter.
When I like to joke, I feel like I'm not an agent anymore. I feel like I'm a cleaning lady when I go out now, because, I got my mask, I got my gloves, I got my Lysol wipes, I got my hand sanitizer. And I know, like, even for us, our strict policy is trying to limit the amount of people in a home. So, this is not a party, please, ensure it's, the people that are actually buying the home are the ones that are coming in. If you want to show your parents, it might have to be 2 at a time, just to ensure that we're practicing those social distancing measures. And, just being prepared, be prepared for that it could be a little bit like that. And it's for everyone's safety, which is really important. And making sure, don't go look at homes if you're not feeling well. If you are sick, or if you are feeling anything under the weather, it's okay to cancel. We'd rather wait and see you later. And we will show you when you're feeling better. Because at the end of the day, if one of us gets sick, or if somebody gets sick, it is affecting not just you, but it's also our family. So we just have to be really cognizant of making sure that, everyone that's walking these homes is as healthy as possible to be viewing these homes.
Absolutely. And also another thing to tie into that would be the pre-approval.
Yes.
that was something we were discussing the other day, and how I think it is quite crucial in these days because of all of the things that I'm doing, all of the extra things that you're doing, the construction team. There's a lot of a lot of people who are being like we didn't have before, right?
Exactly.
So I do think it is crucial to get that pre-approval in place first before taking that step in having everybody make sure that everything is sanitized, every single one of the homes. Because that is quite a big undertaking right now, in particular in registering right?
Yeah, no, I think it's definitely important. And I mean, I get why people want to look at pretty gorgeous homes, but now is not the time. So it's like we want to help the people that are committed to wanting to buy, and we want you to find that perfect dream home. We just need to find in the right budget for you. And so it's really important to know what you can get. And besides, who wants to look at something bright and shiny that you can't afford anyways? Like, you know, it's just as depressing then to go back to look at what you can afford, even though it's beautiful in its own right. So, you know, looking at what you can look at. And I mean, I think going back again to the agent side of things is, I mean, people always wonder like, well, can you bring extra value or negotiation to the table when it comes to helping buy a home? With and I'll talk a little bit about my opinion on that, and then maybe you can end on that too, Alexis. But I think it's really important that us as agents, we tend to have understanding of how different home builders might negotiate. So some will negotiate on price. Some, it depends if it's a pre-sale, spec, etc. Sometimes price is a factor. Other times it's going to be extras. You know, they might include landscaping. They might include some of these extra appliances. They might include some of these extra features, and that's going to be more motivating them versus a price specific negotiation. But the other thing is we do have data at our hands, and so, you know, we don't always have the data of the new home sales, but we have all the MLS data. And so if we can justify a reason, I always believe in any time you negotiate, there should be a justification as to why. But if we can justify why we feel that Pacesetter home might be a little high compared to what's actually happening on the market, then we can bring that knowledge to Alexis and see how she can help us formulate the best offer that we can present, right? Her job is ultimately, yes, she works for Pacesetter, but her job is also to make sure that she's being fair and we're finding a win-win for everybody is kind of the goal. So I don't know if there's anything that you want to speak to quickly on that point, but.
No, 100%. I think that you said it best, Elise. And really, I've said this already a couple times, but I'll say it again. It really comes down to clients, you know, their experience. We want to make sure that they're having the best experience possible. And that's why it is really super important that you are working with a sales rep, you know, that has that trust relationship with you already. And then that way we can communicate effectively with one another and really make sure that the client is getting the best value. You know, I'm not one of those, Pacesetter is not one of those builders that's going to be throwing out, you know, random types of promos. It's more value added for the client and structuring it important for them. And that's where I find the realtor is the biggest asset in communicating that to me, because you already have that trust, you already have that rapport, you already know the client. And that is something that also I discover as well. But having that added value of understanding the client on another level, and then that way you're able to structure the offer and let me know what sorts of things that you can that would pertain to the client's needs, and not just a random promo that maybe is not even necessary, that they don't even want.
Well, the funny part is people get locked into this promo, but me as an agent, I know 3 or 4 times in the last year that I've helped people buy new is I'm like, I know the one you want. Like, I know the show him Harrison. This is my son. You can't see him, but he's making noise. But I often know the home that they want before we even go see the home. So it's like, yes, you want Pacesetter, you want this model, let's go look at it. And they fall in love with that home, right? So we often explore the show homes having that education too. So again, it's not always about that right promo price. It's about finding what's going to be important for you, and then finding the right price and the right extras and features and benefits that's going to really work for your bottom line and your lifestyle. Is what we're focusing.
Yeah, 100%. And that's what I like. Why I love working with you, Elise, is because you're so effective at communicating that. It's a simple phone call. Hey, Alexis, these are my clients. And because you're so on the ball with your clients, you understand their needs. You communicate that with me, and I'm like, okay, this is exactly the style of home this is where we should be directing them. And because you and I have that trust and rapport also built, we can really be super effective for the client and their overall experience, and have it be a good experience.
Yeah, it becomes a brainstorming session. Like, okay, what can we find? And this is who they are, and this is what they love to do. And like, okay, go. Let's work together and come up with that.
We get excited about it.
We do.
I know.
We get too excited about it.
But it's awesome because then the client is like, I'm excited too. This is awesome, you know. And
it's like literally, it's like a dance party. We're just like vibing. We're like having so much fun.
It's National Dance Day, so.
So, you know, like, I think the thing is like, I think it's important, like, you know what, like, new homes are super awesome, and there's a place for the reps within the properties too, like you, and there's a place for the agents as well, the realtors like myself. And just like we said, it can be a win-win, it can be a party, and it can be a lot of fun, and you can find that gorgeous home. And, you know, we're all excited to be part of it. I know once this COVID ends, Alexis will be throwing epic community events in her communities, or at least Pacesetter probably will. I'm sure she'll be pushing that. And I think you'll just really enjoy living in a Pacesetter home. So, Alexis, thank you. My kids are laughing in the background. An hour is a long time for kids to not have their mommy. So I'll wrap this up, and thank you for the time today. Is there anything else you'd like to point out before we jump? This is live, but it will be recorded, and we'll be putting it up everywhere and sharing more information as well.
Yeah, just the last thing that I did want to leave off, because of the recent events that we have going on right now, and show homes, are show homes open? Are they not open? What's going on?
What's happening?
Yeah, I just want to say, yeah, some show homes are going to be open, some are not going to be open. Please do call ahead. Certain things that I have been able to offer is going to be doing online tours. I do FaceTime if people want. I have even professional camera equipment that I've gotten recently, and I've been doing different videos and whatnot to be able to really help the client. Another thing is also, if you go to Pacesetter's website, you can check out, they have check out home tour, and they even have 3D home tour. If you have 3D glasses, you can check the home tours in 3D.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. So basically, yeah, if you did want that next level more virtually, I am able to offer that. So please don't hesitate to reach out.
Yeah, and then if you guys have any questions, like, by all means, reach out to us. We'd be happy to help you and just like help make the experience really exciting and fun. So thank you, Alexis. I'm so excited we could do this, and it was so fun to actually have an adult chat today and talk about a lot of these questions that I've been like repeating, and it's so nice to now have it on a video that I can just forward to everyone. So I will talk to you later, and thanks for this so much. Bye, guys.
Thanks so much, Elise. Appreciate it.
Bye.
Bye.